Oh, that's a horse of a different color.
It's green.
No.
Clock out, come home, and drink away. To bash and burn the weekly plays. Douchey calls and sweaty balls, this is Scotch Sporting.
Wow.
Wow.
The intro has never sounded so good.
Right?
For this first ever episode 1.
We've never done this show before.
We've never, ever done this show before. So welcome to our podcast, which we've never done before. This is episode 1 of Scotch Sporting, The Rebirth.
Yes.
So this
Sporting
is
Reloaded.
Rebirth is kind of topical given today's situation.
Oh, damn it.
I know.
I totally ruined that.
You ruined any well, I mean, why not ruin segues right off the top?
Yeah.
So this is a sports comedy podcast where we break down the week in sports in a humorous way. Because I think we all, and I'll do an introduction of all of us again for anyone that hasn't been listening to the earlier Scotch Sporting. I think we break down sports in a funny way because I all think we bring something unique to the perspective of sports. Chris adjusted his Tie Cats hat, so he brings a distinctly Hamilton view to things. So yeah, we don't take ourselves too seriously, which I think is our view to the world of sports.
It's our greatest strength.
So we will be not talking about sports a lot, I'm sure. We will be doing stupid things such as breathing too close to the microphone, which is apparently a thing, and dealing with echoes. But welcome. I hope if you've been listening to us for the last couple years, please join us on this journey to attempt to get a bit more legitimate. And if you're brand new, somehow stumbled upon this, please join us and welcome on this crazy train of idiot sports. We should all have a drink in hand. There is only 3 of us, and one of us does not drink. Guys, if you've been listening to old episodes, this is the first podcast drink I've had in 9 months.
Woo!
So cheers.
And why
Cheers,
is
everybody.
that?
Well, I had myself a little baby.
Oh my God. A tiny human.
A tiny human. So we thought we'd relaunch this podcast as we launched a human out of my lady parts into the universe. So let us introduce ourselves. I am Tay. I am a host with the most, although I like to think this is a collaborative effort. I thought I saw a hole in women talking about sports. So when I joined up with you guys and heard that there was a podcast network, and years ago you wanted to relaunch a sports podcast, I was all on board because I think my perspective is uniquely female on sports. And sometimes I'll watch a game because the guy's hot, and sometimes I'll just hate people because his face looks stupid. And it just, I like what I like and I hate what I hate. And you'll get to know me. We have Chris.
Hey.
Our I was going to say our CFL expert, but that's Mark too. Chris is almost less serious about sports than I am, I would say.
That sounds about right.
You get passionate about things, but you also do not care about a lot of other things.
Correct.
Which is fantastic. And you have no problem saying what you think is stupid.
True. Yes.
Like soccer. But you by gum will not see any silliness in the CFL except your own team.
Well, yes. The Rouge is, I understand why people have a problem with it.
Would you like to say a few words about yourself?
No, I actually think you covered it pretty well.
Great.
Thank you. That was a beautiful introduction, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll hopefully do the same for Mark Bunn, who is as unseriously as Chris and I take sports, and that is not to say we don't love it. Chris and I are huge sports fans, but we also see the idiocy in it. Mark takes it seriously, but not in that annoying way that your sports bros do. Mark is the guy that you go to if you have a question about literally anything. Somehow it exists in the recesses of his mind. If you want to know who was Rookie of the Year in Major League Baseball in 1994, Mark Bunn would know, obviously, that it was...
I want to say Mike Piazza.
Great. No one looked that up.
I'm looking it up right now.
I was going to do a bit later, but I think I was going to say whatever Griffey's year
You
was.
said 1994?
94.
Oh, Google doesn't like me. It's making me check if I'm a robot.
What?
93 was Piazza.
Ah!
Raul Mondesi.
Raul Mondesi?
Mondesi. There you go. See, I didn't even know his
One-time
name.
Blue Jay great.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. That's your Rookie of the Year for 1994.
That was the time when the Dodgers had like 3 straight Rookie of the Years, I think.
Yep. They had Piazza, 4 straight. Eric Karros, Mike Piazza, Mondesi, and Hideo Nomo. Easy for me to say.
Oh, Nomo.
Is Raul Mondesi, is he the one that is now like a politician in the Dominican Republic, or is he the one that was like a major drug trafficker?
No, you're thinking the starting pitcher. Esteban Loaiza.
Esteban Loaiza. Thank you.
Yeah.
He was the drug guy, right?
He was the drug guy.
But Mondesi, I think, is some mayor of some town. Like he's in politics now or something.
Maybe.
See, this. I don't want us to lose us going off the rails because I was introing Mark Bunn, and now, after baseball, Mondesi began a career in politics.
There it is.
There you go. So Mark takes, even though he was wrong by 1 year, I challenge anyone to have known that. You are our statistics nerd, but your passion is what is infectious. And Mark can be walking by, a Sunday beer league. And if he sat down on the bleachers long enough, he'd be like, I am hardcore Team White.
Yep. And fuck you, Team Blue. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Team Blue. Team White is up by 3 in the bottom of the 7th because that's how long softball games go. So that is us. And this is our show. And it's our show. So if we need to take a pause in introductions and Google Raul Mondesi's political career, that's what I was mixing them up. This is what we'll do. So Raul Mondesi did serve time in prison on corruption charges.
But he became a politician afterwards.
After the corruption? Or before?
I think it was.
I mean, it makes sense if it's after. It makes sense either way.
No, it was after. So
Okay.
in 2018, he became the mayor of San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic, serving a 6-year term. In 2017, Mondesi was sentenced to 8 years in prison on corruption charges based on his time as mayor.
Wow.
Oof.
So there you go.
His son still plays in the major leagues.
This is the incredibly stupid stuff you will learn.
Yep.
But this is the stuff that I love about sports.
Exactly. This the weird shit that no one really cares about.
It's the stuff that happens off the, like, I know Mondesi Great was 1994 Rookie of the Year. I want to know what he did as mayor to get him imprisoned for 8 years in the Dominican Republic. So this is our show, and thank you for joining us. So we're going to try a new format, but please bear with us. There will be growing pains. We're going to do a couple of deep dives on topics, and then we're going to do the SS Rundown, although we should probably change that name for
sounds
historical World War II.
A little
written down. It didn't
off.
seem so bad, but saying the SS Rundown is a little bit. I'll talk to Dave about that after. So we're going to do, we'll do 5 topics, 1 minute each of banter back and forth. If we have time, we have some stuff that we don't get to, but if we don't get to it, we'll push it to next week. But off the top of the show, we will always shoot the shit because I don't think we can not do that. Like, let's not kid ourselves. So we're back and my life has changed. We have a little boy who is being suspiciously quiet downstairs. He's 5 weeks old. His name is Rowan.
He's
a great really name. Cute. Thank you.
It is such a great name.
I named him. I wanted to give him a Celtic name because he'll have my husband's last name. And my Grams used to tell me the history of the Rowan tree, which is where all the evil spirits live.
Okay.
And the good fairies too is in the Rowan tree, and so that it gives them a home and it protects your house and wards off evil.
So that's what he's there for.
That's what he's there for. But if you cut down the rowan tree,
Right.
You've released all the spirits and they're pissed. And now you've cursed your house. So it's like, it's also a bit of like, don't fuck with me.
Right. I like it. Though.
And anytime my Gram's like, it was talking about whales or like people she knew in a mudslide or something, it was because they cut down their own tree. So what did you expect? Like their entire family died because they cut down this tree.
Way to go, fuckers.
So he's 5 weeks old. Chris, you have children, so
I do.
I'm sure you know what I'm in for. He's just being awake more, which is
nice.
Annoying.
Right. Hey, listen, nothing's annoying. Listen, nothing is annoying until they start talking. Then it's annoying. Trust me.
Like,
as annoying as you think the crying is, and the diapers, and it's the like every sentence starts with, "Dad, can I tell you something?" Every sentence.
But I don't find that annoying because it's like very binary right now, or it's very like it's a choice of 5 things that could be wrong with him.
Yeah.
But he's starting to be awake now, and so it's like, is there something wrong?
Should I be paying more attention?
Do I have to entertain you now?
Yeah.
But I think he can still only see like a foot in front of him, so I'm like, here's keys. I'll see you later.
You need that baby chance there from Herb.
Right.
Yeah. I like that age where you can put them like this I can put him down because he sleeps for 3 hours. So it's like my life exists in 3-hour cycles. So just before the podcast, we took him for a walk so he'd fall asleep. So we have maybe another hour and a half.
Right.
Before he starts melting down. What is new with you guys? We haven't recorded in 5 weeks.
Yeah. Me and Mark went to a baseball game.
Oh, you went with him?
I went to a baseball game too. Yeah. Mark's been to more than one, but I've been to one.
I need to change our deep dive. I didn't think you'd been to anything yet.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we are back. So sports are back.
Sports are back.
So I didn't know. So let's talk about it. So Mark has been to multiple Blue Jays games.
Yes.
Chris has been to one. Obviously, I've been
Circumstances,
busy.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit hesitant to go. But now they've announced you need to be vaccinated to get in, like show proof of a vaccine or negative test.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I'll go now. So we're going in a couple weeks.
Nice.
How was the experience?
I think it was pretty good. I barely wore my mask the whole time because I know that probably makes me an asshole, but we were sitting in our seats and, you know, me and Mark and Mark's brother and sister were vaccinated and there was no one in front of us and no one behind us. And I had a drink in my hand the whole time. So I'm like, I'm just drinking my drink. That's why my mask isn't on.
But did it feel good? Because you guys hadn't been to a sporting event in a year and a half.
It felt great.
When Chris said this game's going to end, pretty early.
Yeah.
And then the throwing error by Simeon to first base happened.
And we were there for another 2 hours. How does 2 innings, by the way? We went to the 11th inning. It took longer for those 2 innings than it did for from the 5th inning on. It doesn't make any sense to me. And this extra innings rule with the guy on second, I fucking hate it. I know I've said it many times, but
with the ghost runner,
hate it.
It doesn't. It's so bush league to me.
It really does. It really feels like your softball overtime rule.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't count towards anyone's ERA, right?
Not the ghost runner itself, but any batter that gets on base afterwards, yes.
Yeah, but the ghost runner that starts on second and extra inning.
No.
See, even that, it's like, that's stupid. So what is he then?
A ghost runner.
A ghost runner.
He's a ghost.
He's a spooky ghost. So we've been watching the games, obviously, and seen people not in their masks and been like, fuck those guys. And that's honestly part of what has made me uncomfortable to go. Right. But you guys were in a section where you felt comfortable doing, like, there truly was no one around.
Yeah, it was like, there was the dude, he shouldn't have been sitting in the row he was sitting in, because the way they have it is that you sit in every other row. And there was one dude in the row in front of us, but he was kind of like over to the side, and he had a little kid with him and was constantly getting up to go to the bathroom. So it made sense, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel uncomfortable in any way to like have my mask off. So
I probably would feel a little bit different if I was sitting in the 100s behind the plate.
right,
But
where
there's,
it's
like, a
all
whole bunch of
everybody's
stuff.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and clearly not enforced.
Yeah, the usher comes down in between the innings and holds up a sign that says "Wear your mask," and we're all sitting there with our faces exposed. And
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like,
Just comes
don't
down,
make
holds
me
up the little
don't make
sign.
me tap the
Don't make
sign.
me tap the sign. Exactly.
Oh boy. And the atmosphere in terms of being a fan is the novelty, because you guys have went a bit later. Like, you didn't go Mark went the first Homestead, right?
Yeah, the first weekend.
And how was that, the vibe then versus when you've been recently?
It's been the same.
Because I feel they
I would have thought it would have been a little crazier
No,
crazier.
at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh,
like
I thought you meant now.
No,
And
no,
was
no.
like,
I
what?
just meant
No.
like
They
those
lose to
first-
Detroit.
Well,
Yeah.
that first series was also against the Red Sox too, right? So that was kind of epic, and they won that series.
I just was hoping they'd ride the momentum a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Then
it's
lose to the Orioles and the
that-
Tigers.
The West Coast trip killed them because they got swept by the Nationals, who traded away everybody.
They
except
just
for
got
Soto.
sleepy. They just got sleepy being on the coast. So food, like concessions, everything was normal.
yeah. I didn't notice anything really different. It'll be
No,
interesting. It'll be interesting. Sorry to interrupt, but it'll be
Oh,
interesting
no.
for Labor Day because the Ticats have announced completely cashless. So you
Okay.
only pay with cards. Like there'll be no cash at all. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. You know, with Hamilton being what Hamilton is.
Go on.
Well, I mean, when they announced that you had to show proof of vaccination to get in the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
The Facebook was really fun.
Sometimes I forget Hamilton is Hamilton. So I still watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I'm a very intelligent person. You know, I went to university. I have my honors degree. It was on the dean's list. So go fuck yourselves. I love my trash TV. And this season of The Bachelorette, she went away with a Hamilton guy.
Oh yeah, I heard that. That's right.
Oh yeah,
And I think he's much younger than us. So obviously I wasn't going to ask if you knew him. But I listened to another podcast. As part of why I watched The Bachelorette is because I like listening to the podcast. And it's hosted by comedians. And the one was trying to explain Hamilton. Like, they're all American. And the
Right.
one was trying to explain Hamilton because she'd performed there before. And she was like, it isn't, if you're thinking Vancouver, like if you're looking at this guy and thinking he's a bit rough, I thought people from like Canada were a bit,
Yeah.
hoity-toityer, I guess. And it's like, you've never been to Hamilton. And she was like, Hamilton is like real. It's raw. It's it's the Hammer was like, so I get it.
I mean, you make it sound like we're not Detroit, for Christ's sakes.
no.
But you're Toronto's Detroit,
Are we?
aren't you? I think
I
you're
don't
true. Or is
know.
that Windsor? Is Windsor?
No, Windsor's like a nice town.
Sorry. Compared to Hamilton or compared to Detroit?
compared to both, but yeah.
You think Windsor is nicer than Hamilton?
I mean, isn't it? Am I crazy?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to Windsor, so I can't
that's
say.
the same. I haven't been to Windsor in
To
forever.
be fair, I have also just driven through Windsor.
So there it is.
Yeah.
None of us have actually spent any significant time in Windsor. And here's what we do. We talk shit about stuff we don't know.
Because it seems cold there.
Cold?
It seems very windy and cold.
cold.
Well, I don't. It seems very, I don't know, industrial and cold. Like, it's very windy. Like, there's got to be a lot of lake effect there.
Maybe.
More
I'm
so than
taking the
here.
name Windsor quite literally. I don't think.
Yeah.
It
Well, and a friend of mine, and if she still listens, I do apologize. They have Windsor pizza,
Yeah.
It's Windsor style pizza, and she's like all about it, and apparently it's really famous there. And then the way she described it, I was like, "This is just pizza," and what are you talking about? And it's basically a normal pizza, except the pepperoni shredded.
Really?
And she just goes on and on about Windsor pizza, so maybe I'm biased against it.
Oh, look at, God damn it, Google. All right, let's see. Let's
you
see if we
looking-
can find Windsor style pizza.
Okay,
To
yeah, that's
qualify
it.
as Windsor style pizza, your pie has to fit some very specific pepperoni is always shredded, and the mushrooms must be from a
Ew.
can.
Ew.
I mean,
she glossed over that part. See, maybe, and this is why I think Windsor is lesser than Hamilton.
I mean, we don't see, but we don't have our own style of pizza here.
But we don't
I
shred the pepperoni and put mushrooms from a can.
Yeah, we're not
I
fucking
think
monsters.
I think because I am from Toronto, which is obviously the center of the universe,
Obviously.
anything, the further you go from Toronto is the shittier you are as a city. So that's why I'm like, well, Hamilton's okay because it's pretty close.
I don't
but
know. What do we
obviously
think about
everything-
that? What do we think about that? That's
That
some
looks-
shredded pepperoni on there.
It looks like
This is
the
also
pizza you make
before
with
it goes
Play-Doh.
in. It's also before it goes
Yeah,
in the
it's
oven.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's not
before, because you can tell. Look at the cheese not melted
Oh.
here.
Right, because it's a normal pizza, but shredded pepperoni.
Shredded pepperoni is a strange thing.
I guess then you get meat in every bite.
Right.
True.
Windsor pepperoni. You get the meat in every bite.
Well, it's like the Arby's. That's like they don't really say the food's any good.
It's true.
You just get it's just the meats.
Right.
We're not gonna. It's and the Coors can. It's like, well, it's cold. Is the beer any good? I don't know.
It doesn't
It's
matter. It doesn't
fucking
matter.
cold, though.
It'll get
at
you
it.
drunk.
Look at
Yeah.
it. It's cold. So
Sam
okay.
Jackson's. All right.
So you guys, speaking of Hamilton, that's why I thought you hadn't been to a game yet, Chris. I didn't know you'd been to a Jays game, but
Yeah.
the Ticats are coming up, and
Yeah,
so
finally.
any anxiety or just all excitement? Anxiety because they've been losing, or
Well, they won the last one and they looked better. So let's see how they do. Let's see how they do on Labor Day, because Toronto actually looks pretty good. Go fuck it. If you're listening to this and you're from Toronto, go support your fucking team.
I was gonna say, does it irk you even more when Toronto's good because no one cares here?
Yeah, I mean that does suck.
Like we have a good product
Yep.
on the field, and comparatively to the rest of the CFL, it's like they're a very well respected and multiple Grey Cup winning franchise, and no one cares.
No
Does that
one
make
gives
it
a
worse?
shit. No, because it's easy fodder for when people start complaining, or when Argos fans, because like they're like, oh, Ticats suck. I'm like, oh wow, an Argos fan. I saw one in real life for once. It's just an easy.
Have you met an Argos fan that's under 60?
Yes.
Under 50?
Yes.
Under 40?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And apparently,
Cool.
apparently, I read an article today. The Ticats Alouettes game had the highest sports ratings for that time because the Blue Jays were playing. Anyways, it was like 151,000 people between the ages of 25 and 34 watching that game.
I hate that I am out of that bracket now.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 36. I was like, yeah, let's
Nope.
do it.
Nope.
No.
You're old now.
And a mom. I can't.
And a
oh, God.
mom. Life's over, bud. Life's over. All right, let's talk
I
about
know.
sports and keep our minds off it.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited. We're going in a week and a half, kind of as a birthday, not birthday present for me. My parents are coming, looking after the baby, and mommy and daddy are getting loaded during the day. So I'm excited, but I'm honestly I'm anxious because I'm anxious about going anywhere where the people that work there don't get paid much. And I know this can be on our side politics podcast we'll launch one day
Yeah.
about paying people a decent living wage. But I know what people make working the concessions at Rogers Center,
Yeah.
Skydome, and do the cleaning staff and the ground staff. And it's like, you do not make enough to really care about my health and safety, do you?
Right.
So that makes me a little bit anxious. But I found everything coming out of COVID that I haven't done that I now do. I forget immediately what life was like before.
Yeah.
Like I think as soon as I'm back in the dome, it'll be like no
like
time.
you never left. Exactly.
It'll be like Narnia and coming back through the wardrobe. Like, oh, I lived this whole life out here. Nothing's changed.
Yep.
And did it feel like that for you guys?
Yes, 100%. Felt like it didn't feel like it's been almost over 2 years since I've been to Sky Dome, and it felt like I never left. Like it was just like, oh, yep, it's back and being to normal again, even though I had to wear a mask.
Okay, so our other deep dive is about COVID. So it is the NFL and COVID.
Oh yeah, it's like what the title's about.
It's so the Mark Jones. If you're wondering why the title, the Mac Jones, he's got to come into Return of the Mac.
Yeah, well, it's not really the return. It's like the start of.
If you want to do a fun Wikipedia deep dive in on the guy that sang Return of the Mac, he had a terrible life after that song came out.
Oh no.
Oh, it's Michael? I was like, oh, is Mac short for Mackenzie? What
Nope.
an unfortunate but very American name. His name is Michael McCorkle Jones.
Oh, that's a weird one.
I gotta say, and now I can say this as a mother.
Right.
If my last name was McCorkle,
yeah,
I'd be like, you know what? He does not need to have that name.
He doesn't need that.
Because my maiden name is Bert, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna skip this. Just you don't need it. You don't need it. I didn't push for it as a hyphenated name. I didn't push for it as a middle name. I'm like, no, this can end here.
Your brother carries on the legacy. It's fine.
Yeah, I have nieces. Maybe they'll be progressive. Maybe they'll be gay. Like there could be whatever. I don't need to worry about it. I'm not doing that. Okay, so the Mac Jones era is the Mac Jones era because the Patriots cut Cam Newton.
Yes.
Which, Mark, being our stats guy, was it a non-COVID cut at all?
I mean, by the numbers, you can say that Mac Jones played a lot better than Cam Newton. It just, made more sense that because he was not vaccinated, it was, I guess, a fortuitous cut because he also would have made $50 million because that was a contract he signed. So they saved money that way. But they also cut Brian Hoyer, so now they only have Mac Jones on the roster as their quarterback.
Wait, who's their backup? Because I'm like, oh, they cut Cam, I guess, because then you got Hoyer as the backup. So who the fuck's backing up?
I don't know.
Perfect.
Oh.
Belichick is all in on Mac Jones.
They have to have a backup.
They have to. I don't know who, though.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm just going to look at their depth chart. They have to have someone else. I thought I saw another quarterback, but I couldn't click. Oh my God, no. Jarrett Stidham? But there's an O beside him. There's an O. I assume he's out.
Yeah.
So, no, they don't have anybody.
They don't have a capable backup, no.
So, yeah, according to this, there wasn't just one reason Cam is gone. Combination of at least three: Mac Jones' emergence, Newton's vaccination stance, which caused a bit of a stir behind the scenes, and Cam's uninspiring performance this summer. There you go.
So I'm surprised that like any preseason play affected the decision.
Right.
But I do see Belichick being someone like he's a cold ass honky. And I can see Belichick being like, get your vaccine or you're off the team.
But he came out and said like this, it's not like the vaccine didn't have anything to do with it. And it's not my job to tell someone to get vaccinated. That's not my job.
His job is to get the players to play in his system.
That's right.
Not play his way. See you later.
But that's part of it. It's the Patriots system, and the Patriots are a fall in line team.
Right.
So it isn't necessarily like it's not my job to tell you to get a vaccine, but it is my job to tell you to fall the fucking line.
Yeah, but
And so
maybe Bill's not down with the vax.
You think Bill Belichick is an anti-vaxxer?
I don't think he's an anti-vaxxer, but I think that there's probably part of him that's like my freedoms.
I don't know. He seems like more of a football guy, so he doesn't want to risk losing any football games.
And you know
for
what?
any stupid reason.
You know what? That's pretty much it. Yeah. All he cares about.
Exactly. Like, that's what I think. Like, it's not, I'm cutting you an anti-vaxxer. I'm cutting you because you could cost me a game.
Right.
And that's...
And the word is what happened was, so Cam went into protocol, right? Because he's not vaccinated. And he started the protocol, I think he started it in the, like, you have to quarantine. There's certain rules about where you can quarantine, and wherever he was quarantining, it's like, no, you have to do it here, like at home or at the facility or whatever. And so for 2 or 3 days, he was quarantining wrong. And so he had to restart the 5 days. And during those 5 days, that's when Mac Jones went in there and was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to fucking light it up and throw touchdowns. And
I'm pretty good.
Who needs former MVP Cam Newton?
Yeah, I'm also a pretty good football player, and it's the Patriots, so you could hand me the ball, and you'd probably do pretty okay.
You'd do all right.
But that makes sense of, and that's, I think, what the Jacksonville Jaguars had said, that vaccine status is affecting, is going to be a factor in their roster cuts.
But,
and it's not some political statement. It's, you could cost me a game.
Yeah. But they're not supposed to be saying, like, that's not supposed to be a factor, right? But as you said, like, the NFL has said, if you miss the game because your players aren't vaccinated and they get COVID and you can't field a team, you take a loss.
And no one gets paid.
And no one gets paid on both teams.
You had a fantastic graphic you showed us before we started recording. I don't know if you could flash it up right now.
What was it?
It was
was it this one?
Yeah, just don't do the thing.
Don't do the thing. That's it. Just don't do it.
It's not anti-vax. It's not, it's not political. It is just, I am asking you just don't do this one thing. And we'll be fine.
Right. But it's been pointed out in chat that it does go against union rules.
True. And I was going to say, even in Canada, like, at least I think in Ontario, you can't ask, right? I don't know if it's Ontario or Canada.
I don't know.
But I know people, like, I work in film and television, and a couple of productions are just starting up right now, and they can't ask people on set. There's ways you can find out without.
But my understanding is that a lot of that is going to change with this, because I know that in the CFL, because they have very similar rules regarding like missing a game and losing pay and all that stuff. The CFL CBA is about to expire.
Ooh.
And you know that when that CBA is re-signed, it's going to require vaccination. Like that, there's no way that it's like that it's not part of the CBA.
Because it's a private business.
Yeah.
And it's a gate league. They don't want to lose any games, right? Yep. So
exactly. Because it's like, I know it's illegal to ask, and it's not part of the union to make it, but it's like, you could cause me to lose this game. And if I have the choice between Chris and Mark, and they're both equally good, and Chris,
who's vaccinated,
does not have the vaccine. Mark is vaccinated.
I was vaccinated before both of you.
I'm taking Mark on my team. Like, cutting Cam Newton is a bit of a like, whoa, but what the Jaguars are doing of kind of like, yes, it will be a factor in our decision making for,
and at least they're being upfront about it, because you could lie about it. Like it's like any job, right? Like a dude can still be racist and not hire black people, but he doesn't say that out loud.
Whoa.
Do you know what I mean? He's just like, oh, I'm just not hiring you because this other guy was more qualified. But it's the same thing. You just don't have to say it's because of vaccinations.
I think it is, like, I read something that isn't discrimination. So when discrimination is when I deny you something because of something you can't change. So race, gender, height,
Right.
age, whatever.
Right. You can
But
go get a vaccination.
You can do something about the reason why I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't want to ever talk to Mark again because of his glasses.
Well, he could get LASIK.
I'll get eye surgery.
I think I'm being an asshole rather than being discriminatory.
That's true.
But if Mark's glasses are costing me a football game somehow,
I mean,
then I'm gonna go get LASIK eye surgery.
Maybe I should go get my old glasses.
Probably misses his old glasses. Are we gonna see any? So Cam Newton has been the biggest name cut we've seen.
Yep.
Do you guys predict any more big name cuts? So the guys I know are, so we have Lamar Jackson.
Obviously, Cole.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Obviously Cole Beasley.
Obviously Kirk Cousins.
Adam Thielen was not vaccinated a while ago, and same with Harrison Smith. I know them because
Josh Allen is still like,
I won't say.
Right.
I think,
which means no.
So will we see any more big name cuts? Or will anybody walk away? Like, if it becomes a thing, like DeAndre Hopkins, when this first came out, said like, well, I'm considering not playing. And I know Cole Beasley did the same thing, but Cole Beasley's kind of at the end of his.
Yeah.
Him walking away is like
Hopkins.
Sorry, say that again.
He's not making nowhere near money as Hopkins does either.
Yeah, exactly. Him being like, I think Cole Beasley would be a bit of a, well, you can't break up with me because I'm breaking up with you.
Right. Then that's it. Cole Beasley will not be cut. He will say, oh, I'm retiring.
Because of COVID, even though it's like, no, Bills don't want you. You're old. So will we see any more big name cuts or any more big name walkaways?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm not prepared to say who, but I'm gonna say yes. There's gonna be at least one more.
Mark?
I would say name wise they might be big, but I don't think they would be big as in terms of impact. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. I think we'll have a couple. Like, I think it'll be more Cam Newton of like, hey, that's a big name, but that was kind of a big name 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Ish. Will we see an outbreak?
Yes.
And if so, what team? Like
Minnesota? I'm sorry.
I gotta say, so I think this whole Minnesota thing came out when we were kind of on hiatus relaunching.
Yes.
So if you don't know, 3 of kind of the big name Vikings have openly been Kirk Cousins more than the other 2. So we have Kirk Cousins, we have Harrison Smith, and we have Adam Thielen have said they are not vaccinated. And Kirk Cousins has been a bit more vocal about it, saying like, oh, I'll wrap myself in plexiglass, before. And he thinks if he just changes the way he lives his life, he's not a threat anymore, but whatever. I am finding it very difficult to be a Vikings fan this year. And I don't know if you guys feel the same, if your team, like, so we've talked about this in Scotch Sporting 1.0 of what would happen if your team got one of those guys,
right,
like the sexual assault guys, or, and I've always said, thank God I haven't had to deal with this, especially as a woman. Like, Osuna was cut as soon as it happened. There's been, no real issues on the Bruins. I'm a Blue Jays fan. But this Vikings thing is the first time I've ever had to deal with this, like, morals versus fandom. So I don't know. What would you guys do if it was your team? Mark, the 49ers, Jimmy G, Mostert, and who's your tight end?
Kittle.
That's it. have all been like, we are concerned about getting vaccinated.
I mean, it would be hard for me to cheer for the team, but they won't last forever. The team does, so it will pass.
But are you cheering for the team this year though? Like I've always hated Kirk Cousins.
I'm going out. I'm saying I'm still cheering for the team.
Yeah.
Because you want the team to be successful for future.
I want my team to win. It's really all it comes down to. And I understand you can have a philosophical difference. Like, listen, Brandon Banks is out there on Twitter today going on about the vaccine. And and I'm not very happy with him, but he still plays for my team. And if he scores a touchdown on Monday, I'm gonna, but I'm definitely not buying a Banks jersey. So,
but it's not like he gets money from that.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just not, I wouldn't get a Banks jersey now. That's all I'm saying. Although I've been he's had this weird attitude the whole time he's been in the league.
He's a bit of an asshole.
I mean, I don't know if it's an asshole, but there's something there where it's just like you need to, and you're a great athlete, but you need to just tone it down once in a while. Just take it easy.
He has now locked his Twitter.
Oh, really?
You can't see it unless he approves you to follow him and see his tweets.
Whoa, I wonder if I'm.
I don't know if that's new.
He might have done this a while back because he got a lot of shit after the Grey Cup.
So super quick.
Yeah, I can still see his tweets. So yeah, it's
okay. So super quick sidebar. He has in his profile footballer, former Redskin, and Ticats.
Yep, and Ticats.
Now that Washington has changed their team name to the Washington Football Team.
He's still a former Redskin.
Do you say you're a former Redskin?
He is. He didn't play for the Washington football. I mean, technically, he played for a Washington Football Team, but if he's looking back on his career, he didn't play for the football team.
It's not like you can say you played for the Carolina Hurricanes when you played only for the Hartford Whalers.
Ding ding. Hold on. There.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Oh, did it not come through?
No.
What?
I can imagine it though.
Okay, it was good. I promise.
I heard Chris say "ding ding,"
but that's a team moving Hartford Whalers versus like they're becoming an entirely new franchise versus just changing their name. Are you trying to ding it and make us hear it? So yeah, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with supporting the Vikings this year.
Right.
But so I'm curious what other people think. So tweet us at Scotch Sporting or Instagram or Facebook.
One person in chat said if Tom Brady says no, I'm still cheering for Tom Brady. So
they're cheering for this. Oh no, the specific person.
Yeah.
Oh, you're dead to me if you don't get if you're not this specific person. But if you don't get the vaccine, that's you as an individual being a moron.
Right.
I can see still cheering for the Buccaneers.
Right.
But, oh God, no. Like, Harrison Smith is as super smoking hot as he is absolutely dead to me.
Right.
Thielen and Kirk Cousins I had no chance with because they're way too religious-y. Also, again, if you want to do a deep dive, please go in on Kirk Cousins' dad. And then you can understand why Kurt is the way he is.
Interesting.
He's one of those like almost snake charmer pastor types.
Oh right, yeah. I've actually did we talk about this or where did I hear about this?
We talked about it.
Okay.
Oh, I think we in our chat. I think I sent around the link that was please watch the sermon and understand why.
That's what it was.
Yes.
It's one of those like get bitten by the snake and let the poison run through you and you'll die. If you die, it's because you didn't believe in God enough, kind of thing. Okay, any last NFL and COVID before we move on to our rundown? And we will get smoother transitions, I promise.
Mm-hmm. It'll only get better.
So we didn't say what team. We just went off. Do we all think the Vikings?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see it being anybody else. They're the
They were
odds-on
the
favorite.
lowest.
If you could,
They
like-
have the biggest names, though, right? Like, I don't know what the vaccination is for each team.
Yeah,
but their biggest
yes,
names are not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Vikings have the most biggest names. Although like Carson Wentz is now on the COVID-19. Like I can only assume if people are in COVID protocol. Do
If
we
they're on,
think
yeah, if they're
unvaccinated?
on, so if they're on the where they got to do the 5-day quarantine, I don't know if it lists it as that, but if they're on that 5-day quarantine, it's because they're not vaccinated. That's the only reason you go on that. Because if you have close contact and you're vaccinated, you only have to test negative, I believe, and there's no
Yeah.
quarantine period. So
So basically, anyone going on the list right now.
yeah, it's like a 99% chance that they're not vaccinated. So are you telling me Carson Wentz is not vaccinated then? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
guess
I
he's
think-
out 5 to 12 weeks, so he has time.
I think I had a very panicked Google search maybe a couple days ago, and I am proud to say, as a fan of the Washington football team, Ryan Fitzpatrick is vaccinated.
There we go.
He, his
Fitzmagic
wife,
wouldn't let us down.
and his kids that are over 12, because I think he has 27 children.
Right.
They're all vaccinated. So Dave said, so I am a Vikings fan. If you, again, old Scotch Sporting podcast, I didn't really have an NFL team. I just watched football.
No, you were a lifelong Vikings fan.
Lifelong. So full admit, when I started dating Dave, I was like, okay, I'll pick the Vikings for you.
And he picked,
said this.
and he picked the Bruins for you, didn't he?
He did pick the Bruins for
There
me.
you go. And that's like me and Lindsay. Same thing. I was a Sharks fan, so Lindsay likes the Sharks. She's a Broncos fan. I like the Broncos.
Yeah, because I always like football. I just didn't have a dog in the fight. I just watched the game.
Yep.
I'd just be like, yay, football's great.
I love football. I don't care who's playing.
Yeah, exactly. He said I could take the year off of the Vikings
Oh, well, that's good.
as long as it's not the Packers. Is the asterisk. I can't cheer for. He said I can pick another team to cheer for this year, so I think I might just cheer for Fitzpatrick.
There you go. That's good. Yeah.
He has been named the starter
Right.
of the Washington football team. Okay, are we ready for our first
Rundown?
to be renamed
Yes.
rundown?
All right.
Let's get the Saints clock on the board here.
Let's get it going. All right.
Are you ready?
Tay, you get us started when you're done speaking. That's when I'm going to start the timer.
Okay.
We'll treat it
so
like
the
the end of Family Feud.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, so we missed the Olympics when we were on hiatus. Thank God I got to watch it at 2 a.m. Like when you have a brand new baby, having something to watch at 3 a.m. is just thank fuck for the Olympics.
It's a godsend.
So I probably watch more than I do normally. So the Olympics happened when we were on hiatus. Do you guys have personal highlights? And is there a sport 2 weeks out of the closing ceremonies that you still give a single shit about? Because maybe women's soccer, but I asked Dave this question before we started recording, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the women won gold," and
That's
I feel
right.
like such
Oh shit, they did. That's right.
Right?
So I will start, and I'm gonna say I didn't watch a goddamn thing. I didn't watch any of it. Not one. Nothing.
Wow.
First of all, I half kind of a little bit care about the Olympics. No fans was weird. The whole thing felt weird, and I just didn't care. And summer, I don't care as much about summer as I do as winter. Sorry, I'm done.
Mark Bunn.
I watched a lot of it because I gambled on it. The first week was all swimming, and then the second week was all track and field. It was hard to watch because in Tokyo there's a time zone difference, so you can't really watch it live. So you catch the end of it, like the 10 o'clock to midnight ish.
You can watch it live if you have a new baby.
That helps as well.
Okay, on to the next. No, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, so Blue Jays, a window of opportunity. We've discussed this previous incarnations of the podcast that we went over about 15 years of Blue Jays season record versus the records of the teams higher than them. And what we found over the last since the 92-93 World Series, not only do the Blue Jays have to be good, everyone else in that division has to be bad. And for a long time, everyone else meant only the Yankees and only the Red Sox, but now it's also Tampa Bay.
Right.
So not only do the Blue Jays have to be amazing, the other teams have to be bad. And we saw that very briefly in the playoffs a couple years ago. And the Blue Jays were good, and one of those three teams was bad. Do we have this window of opportunity now? Mark Bunn.
No, because the Yankees are still buying all the best players that they can.
So as good at and the Blue Jays have kind of gone down a little bit.
Yeah.
But even if they were at their peak, still no.
Still no, because it's for some reason Tampa Bay has turned into the Oakland A's of the East Coast.
Yeah.
No matter what roster they have, $50 million budget, they still make a competitive team that can win the division.
It's
I don't get it.
It's annoying is what it is. It's annoying.
Yeah.
What I can't understand is it's the same story every year. Bullpen is a problem. The bullpen is a problem. Hey guys, the fucking bullpen is a problem. Let's address that.
Always. But lately the pitching's been good.
Right.
At the
And
beginning of the season, the starting pitching was bad. The bullpen was saving the team, and now it's flipped.
Time's up.
Okay, so we talked about him earlier. Cam Newton was cut from the New England Patriots because he is anti-vaxxed, and I will say that is exactly why. Where does Cam Newton end up, if it is anywhere, Chris?
Honestly, I don't think he ends up anywhere. I don't think he starts. I think wherever he ends up, he's not starting. So, what did I see? Some Houston, maybe some Dallas, maybe. Again, no, wherever he goes, Dallas maybe makes sense, but yeah, he's not starting. He's done.
Is our Ginger Overlord still in Dallas?
No, he's the QB1 in Chicago. Remember?
Yeah.
And then they got roasted for it.
Okay, Mark, where does Cam Newton end up?
Probably Dallas. I mean, if Dak does suffer some sort of injury, his play style is not that different from Dak.
Right. That's why Dallas makes sense, but
yeah.
I see him not landing anywhere. I think he's too much of a distraction. I think
That's perfect for Dallas, though. They'll take anyone like that.
And my friend made that joke. I have two friends that are Dallas Cowboys fans, and they also said Jerry Jones will take anybody. So I do really like that.
Time's up.
Okay, Mets fans and booing the team. So if you haven't been following, it's been a fun back and forth, resulting in one of the most amazing heckle signs I've ever seen in my life. So the Mets are on a slide, as they are very often, and their fans have been all over them.
Why can't we be in the NL East? You know?
Oh my God.
We'd make the playoffs every year in the NL East.
Or the L
year.
Central.
Yeah.
This is why, if we can just pause, and we have a couple Scotch Sporting overarching themes that we will forever get back to. And playoffs in every single league, in my opinion, need to be everyone on this side in a pot, everyone on this side in a pot, top 8 teams, top 8 teams. I hate as a fan looking at my team's record and saying in any other division you'd be in the playoffs.
Yep. It's annoying.
What is the point of wins and losses?
That's right.
It should everyone together, and let's fucking sort it out later.
Just get the best teams in the playoffs. That's it. Just make sure the best teams are there.
Exactly. And hockey used to do it. Someone used to do it that I loved. Anyways, it just makes sense, people.
Yep.
Okay, so and then the Mets have now started booing them back, and they were saying in the media how much they hated it. Is it so it's a two-parter, so answer quickly. Is it a fan's right? I mean, it's one-parter. Is it a fan's right to boo the team, and whose side are you on? Also, the best sign in the universe, someone held up saying, I was saying booez.
All right, I'll start us.
Yeah.
I think I think you have a right to boo your team. I definitely agree that you have the right, but there's a point where it's too far. That's still your team. And so I understand the players getting pissed off, but you know, I like we'll boo it. We'll boo the Ticats if they have a bad half, but we're still there cheering in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Mark?
No, I'm pretty much in agreement with what Chris said. I mean, the fact that the players are booing back to the fans is new, which I like. Because
you like that?
I like it. It gives them a sort of like a, because we always complain about these athletes not having some sort of personality. It just creates some sort of excitement, I would say.
Yeah, I guess we're a part of that. It makes us part of the experience. Okay, that makes sense. I do. I mean, I like. Okay, so of course, of all the teams for this to happen to, there has been a COVID outbreak. As superior as we think we are in Canada, there has been a football COVID outbreak.
12 players, not staff. 12 players tested positive. Yes.
Positive.
Yes.
Don't do the thing.
And
I don't have it on this one. Hold on. I got it. There we go. Don't do the thing, guys.
Great.
Don't do the thing.
And this team also then posted. I was looking it up to get the numbers again, and there is a stats, and it's like how many days since an accident.
Yeah. And
they are really excited that it's, I think, been 5 days.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 5 days since they had a positive test. So
had a positive test.
Good job, Elks.
Of course it happened to the Edmonton Elks, and their stupid name. Is this God? This is the question. Is this God punishing them for their stupid name?
Karma.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't hate the name Elks. There's way worse things they could have went with. So I'm saying no. I'm saying it's karma for this guy lying about his vaccination status.
And that's how it happened. He lied. Okay, Mark, is this God coming down upon them for not being the Edmonton Elk singular?
Karma for sure. Absolutely.
Thank you. I know there's worse. Like, we are coming from a place where the Edmonton Eskimos, and I understand baby steps. But they should have done what Washington did and be like, here's our placeholder name until we think of anything else.
I don't know. I don't know.
So,
because if we go and talk about the Guardians,
I don't hate the Guardians. I just hate the logo.
The logo.
It's a bad logo.
Awful.
Yeah.
All right, time's up on that one too.
Damn it. Well, that's our rundown. Is there anything you guys want to word on before I go to this week's Would You Rather?
The offer sheet that Carolina sent to Kotkaniemi.
Oh, sorry, that's not part of the rundown.
The rundown, Mark.
Oh, as a fuck you to get Sebastian from Sebastian Aho? Yeah. Okay. So this week's Would You Rather, and I did not change this, so this is what we're going with. We will have a sports Would You Rather, because these are my favorite things to do. Would you rather wear a Riders jersey for an entire Ticats game, or put an Italian flag on your car a week after the Cup?
So the Cup's over. Sorry, I just need a clarification. The Cup is over, and we're talking.
The Cup is over.
We're not talking about the World Cup. We're talking about the one they won was,
the
right?
Euro Cup.
The Euro Cup, right? And so it's been over a week, and then I put the flag up?
This is correct.
I don't like
How long is the flag going to be on the car, though?
I don't like
the flag is on your car also for a week.
I don't like either of these options. And but I have to take the
I'll
flag,
take the flag
because I can't wear a Riders jersey.
No.
I was going to say Ivor Wynn, holy shit. At Tim Hortons Field. You can't do that.
Mark?
No, I'm with Chris. I said flag all the way. Can't wear any opposing teams.
Well, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Hang on. Are they playing the Riders?
No.
Oh, that's a horse of a different color.
It's green.
No.
It's green. Yeah, I'm still going with the flag.
Still, Mark?
Still.
Okay.
It's green.
If you have any other opinions, you can put it in the chat. Reply to us on YouTube. We're Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Scotch Sporting. I believe that is wrapping it up, friends. I hear my child crying from downstairs. The child is being cared for. Dave has
Beautiful.
yelled from downstairs. But yes, I have one really quick question, because next week will be a fantasy football special.
Ooh, the other thing I was hoping is that it would be a like prognostication for the season as well.
Of course, it's going to be all football.
Perfect.
But I have a very quick question I need to ask your opinion on. Our league has its draft tomorrow. We set our keepers last week. Hold on. Here's a baby to get us.
Yay! Oh my God.
Here's a baby to get us views.
Look at that baby.
He's so fresh.
He is very fresh. We are being streamed.
Cool.
Babies. That's a baby.
Babies and puppies.
Okay, so Dave can stay here for this too. So our league drafts on Thursday. We had to send our keepers in this past weekend. Someone kept Dobbins, who has been hit with a season-ending injury.
Do they actually?
She got to switch her keeper. How do you feel about that?
It's in the league bylaws.
This is in our. I don't care. Go away now with the baby.
It's in the league bylaw. Well, if it's in the league bylaws,
If it's in the league bylaws, then it's allowed.
I don't care if it. No, the league. That's not my question. Dave's just an asshole.
Because Dave is the one who kept Dobbins.
No, he isn't.
No.
He is not. I said she. Do you guys think she should have been able, league bylaws or not, if you were setting the league bylaws?
Would that be yes, I would. Because I'm
not a dick.
Well, I mean, I am a dick, but you know, you got to have a little leeway for something like this. I think there's no reason to just be like, ha, fuck you. You picked someone that's hurt.
Well, that's why if I was running the league, I would have set the keeper date to be the day prior or the week of the season starting.
Yeah.
So that way there was no...
Yeah, the draft is a touch
like today, when the final roster was announced, today's your day you can announce your keepers.
But for me, it's a little bit of a slippery slope, because I think she made a trading away someone she might have kept as a keeper to keep Dobbins. So it's like, do you go back on the trade and be like, no, I wouldn't.
No.
So like,
Nope. That trades.
Injuries is a part of sports.
Yep.
For me, then you set your keepers. Maybe I'd give you an extra pick in the draft.
No.
And
Then I'm cold-hearted, and maybe because I'm coming into this as champion.
Oh, there it is.
So I feel I know I gave you my percentage. So next week will be our fantasy special. We're gonna do a lot of this or that. And so I hope everyone liked this new format and enjoyed that we still were idiots.
Yes.
But thanks. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I said it before, at Scotch Sporting. Much more active on Instagram, so please interact with us there. I sometimes just retweet angry things about sexual assault in sports.
Right. And YouTube?
YouTube, we're Scotch Sporting?
Not yet. We got to get there first. So, but YouTube, we're on there. Just Google YouTube and then search Scotch Sporting will come up. And number 2, there is a Scotch Sporting TikTok coming very soon.
Oh boy.
You're welcome.
Good times. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.